Hello, how are you? Um, yeah, a couple of bits of advice for anyone who's about to start medication for ADHD. Number one, don't go into it with any expectations. I had one hope before I started the medication, but I didn't have any expectations. Be curious. Do keep a diary so you can check in with your practitioner, record the good stuff, the not so good stuff, things you thought might change that haven't, things you had no idea might change and have. Definitely keep an eye on your hydration and your dietary input. That's probably the biggest one. I've learned it's a very common side effect, certainly for what I'm on, Concerta, which is a methylphenidate, that your appetite can be suppressed. So you need to keep on top of that, and have scheduled eating times and eat even if you're not particularly hungry. You must eat before you take the medication. So yeah, don't take what I say as what's going to happen if you are on any medication, or even the same type and the same doses that I've tried out as directed by the practitioner. It could be completely different for you. So started off on the 18 milligram, brilliant. 36 milligram of Concerta, not so good for me. Back onto the 18 milligram. I was also sent a short term acting instant release 5 milligram methylphenidate to take later in the day, because they'd asked me how my focus was later on in the day at work, and I said a couple of times I'd noticed just starting to dip off, but not to the levels that it was prior to me starting the meds. I tried that on Thursday, and what I found Thursday night was it clipped my sleep by about an hour, and I've said several times before and why I'm not prepared to have my sleep compromised. The 18 milligram is fantastic. I did try it again yesterday. I took the main dose an hour earlier in the morning, and I take that every single day, and then I took the boost an hour earlier than I had previously. Hadn't noticed any dip in my focus. Felt tired at the normal time, went to bed at my usual time, and then, which is extremely unusual, despite me using all my Jedi mind tricks, as I frequently do, which usually gets me to sleep straight away, it took over an hour to get to sleep. I don't go on my phone, and because of years of shit sleep, I've got a pretty good handle on how long it's been. I did have a look at my watch and it had been an hour. I dozed off. 50 minutes later I was awake again, and then about 15 minutes after that I was back to sleep. Same Jedi mind tricks. 2 hours after that I was awake again, and then finally I got up at 4 o'clock. So I'd initially tried going to sleep at 8:30 after reading. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty fucking knackered this morning. So for me, that's me done with the 5 milligram. I'm not gonna try that any further. The 18 milligrams fine. What I've done today is I've taken the 18 milligram slightly later than I would do on a work day, but that made leaving the house a bit more problematic. So yeah, pretty tired. These types of medications, they're not wonder drugs, so just because I've taken it doesn't mean my focus is going to be absolutely on point, because I've had a shorter and lower quality sleep last night than I normally would have. So hopefully my focus will be better than it would have been, even with a good night's sleep and not medicated. but it's not going to be to the levels that it was. So it could be, again, the 18 milligrams plus the 5 of methylphenidate, so the long release 18 and the instant release 5, that could be a sweet spot. So don't be put off by the things I say. These are my experiences. Everyone has different experiences. So that's where we're at today. If you're struggling with anything, you should reach out. If you want to talk about sleep, because I worked at that very hard a long number of years ago, there's so much you can do. I can help you with that as well. Other than that, have a good day, and let's see what unfolds over the 10 hours at work in -2. See you later.